Good morning. My computer said it's 9 o'clock, so it's time to start talking. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Hope you're well. It is a rainy, chilly spring morning here in my part of the world, and you may or may not notice I've got things set up a little bit differently than usual. I kind of like it. We've rearranged this 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 room. Furniture-wise, it's a little bit more open. I like it. Let me know what you think. Okay, here we go. And hello to people tuning in. I really appreciate you saying hey from everywhere from Iowa to Ohio to Montana. That's great. Rhode Island, Long Island, Boise. This is fantastic. South Dakota. So a lot of upper Midwesterners. That wouldn't be really, that's the West, right? That would be considered the West. Upper West. Thank you for being here. The topic today is one I don't think I've really talked about specifically before, and not that I'm the arbiter of knowledge, but budget considerations. I believe that the ketogenic protocol, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's keeping your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs just means more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Fatty sources of protein, limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables, limited amounts of full-fat dairy. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Challenge. Stop eating when you're satiated, not keep eating until you're about to pop. And I've added, be patient and persevere. Because this is fatty sources of protein, which pretty much means animal product, there are those out there who poo-poo the diet, saying, well, it's oppressively expensive. Or that, an average family, an average person simply can't afford it. I am going to say that that is not correct. Let me tell you why. Now, I am a frugal person. I'm not cheap, but I'm frugal, meaning I like to get the most out of, I like to squeeze 7 cents out of every nickel. And always have been. I mean, this is just the way I like to be. It gives me a good feeling to not be wasteful. One thing about this protocol is the food that's on it is so nutritious, it's more valuable. Keep in mind that we label ourselves a lot of the food we either eat now or used to eat as junk food. Why is it junk? Because it has no value. There's no nutrition. Does anyone here think that pretzels are nutritious? That there's any good nutrition in a Krispy Kreme donut? And listen, Krispy Kremes were born in my town. But there's no nutrition in them. There's no nutrition, not much, frankly, in iceberg lettuce. It's mostly water. But that's not what we call junk food, right? We call that clean eating, healthy eating. But it's only healthy if it fuels us, if it keeps us healthy, if it gets us healthy. And I tried them all. My husband has always been very cooperative in the things I've done. So we went on a real juicing thing years ago. You remember the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead or something like that? And this man had a compelling story, and he started juicing and he lost a bunch of weight. Sadly, he put a lot of that weight back on, I believe. But that was juicing. We got the high-end masticating juicer, and we would buy giant bags of carrots and kale and pears and grapes. And we actually kind of liked it. It was really pretty. But it wasn't doing what we needed for me, which was to nourish me and help me not want to eat more. Another thing about the fact that this food is very nutritious, the fact if you reduce your carbohydrate intake and you switch over from burning, um, I'm seeing things on my screen. Are you guys doing stuff? Do you have little things you can do to send up little? Thank you. I haven't seen that before. Oh, that makes me feel better. That's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, isn't it? Okay. So you need less of it to go further. Thank you, heart people. Let's think of this logically. Let's say you're doing, no sugar stuff. So and I did this, giant box of Cheerios, plain old Cheerios, or plain old shredded wheat, not sugar coated. First of all, that's not inexpensive when you look at how much you're spending. Also, they might label a serving size on there is, I don't know what it is. I haven't looked at a box of cereal in 10 years, but the serving size, but nobody eats the serving size. So it's not, but again, it's not nutritious. It's not bringing anything to the table, no pun intended. Whereas a ground beef patty does. There is, in my opinion, an elitist thread through the ketogenic community that kind of shaming people that, if you're not eating grass-fed, locally sourced beef, poultry, pork, then you're not doing this right, and you are killing the planet. Come on now. Some people, the best they can scrape together is going to the Harris Teeter or the Piggly Wiggly, whatever is in your region, and getting ground beef on sale. And that's perfectly fine. And then you don't have to buy all the other stuff that we do. They're literally expensive. Biscuits. Now, potatoes seem cheap, but they're cheap because they have no value. No nutritional value to speak of. Nothing much. Not compared to a chicken thigh. Chicken thighs. The nice thing about the ketogenic protocol is the cheapest cuts are the ones that are best for us because they are fattier. Back in the low fat days, they wanted everything to be the lean cut, right? Boneless, skinless chicken breasts. What a waste of a chicken. The chicken thighs, dark meat, higher fat content. Plus, you keep the skin on. The skin is where not only the flavor is, it's where the fat is. Did I explain the protocol? Oh, when you cut back on your carbohydrate intake, we stop burning sugar for fuel and start burning fat for fuel. When we're burning sugar or glucose for fuel, because it can't be stored in the blood and our brain is an energy hog, and if it's kind of running on glucose, after a couple of hours, it's going to say, get me some more. Glucose is a very fast burning fuel. Think dried leaves and pine cones, fast burning. And you got to keep stoking it. Start burning fat for fuel, your brain doesn't call for that anymore. Slow burning fuel, think a hickory log. It actually suppresses appetite. It actually suppresses appetite when you're burning fat for fuel. Your hunger dissipates. If you follow the third prong of the protocol, which takes practice, don't eat if you're not hungry. If you follow that and your hunger is less, you're hungry less often, and you're satisfied with good, nutritious, fatty sources of protein sooner, you eat less, you need less, you buy less. I track every penny and have done since the first time I invested in a spiral notebook when we got married, and I started tracking everything we spent. Back in the day, you had to pay for a phone call if you were out. There were pay phones, no cell phones. I wrote down the quarter that it cost. I still do that. And then I compare numbers. So what I do is I have the most recent 12-month expenditures and income compared to the previous 12 months. I just checked before I logged on. In the previous 12 months, we have spent $1,212.79 less on groceries. And I don't mean groceries like toiletries and paper products. I mean food, because I break it down that way. $1,212.79 less on food in the last 12 months than the previous 12 months. That's $100 a month. And it's not like anything in our household changed. It's just been me and the old man for years. Our kids have been out and gone a long time. And we eat good food, but we eat nutritious food. Some night we might have wild caught salmon. I recommend at Costco, the Kirkland wild caught salmon. They come portioned. They're easy to cook. They're nutritious. Some nights we have liver. Liver is one of the most nutritious things you can eat, and it's so inexpensive. Where we get it, it comes 4 slices, thick slices to a package. The package is $2.89. Depending on whether I'm eating that night or not or sharing one of the slices, we'll get 3 or 4 meals out of $2.89 plus tax. And it is super nutritious, easy to cook. I know some people are like, ew, liver, but organ meats are the best you can get if you want straight up nutrition. And I have a couple of videos on food. I'm not a cooking channel, but you can see, and I've made some things. The meals that we cook are delicious, fairly simple. My husband is more creative and adventurous than I am as far as cooking. But the meals rarely take more than about 8 minutes from start to now it's on the plate ready to eat. The ingredients are generally we cook in reserved bacon fat, the fatty source of protein. If we have some vegetables, some diced onion, sliced jalapeno, maybe some mushrooms. Sometimes we have something a little bit more. Meatloaf, one of the best things I cook. Meatloaf, ground beef, ground sausage, ground up pork rinds, a couple of eggs. Main source of my nutrition these days is eggs. And I know eggs have gone up in price, but they're pretty well packed with what we need. And you don't have to have a bunch of them. Talk about an appetite suppressant. Everyone's looking for the magic pill that will suppress appetite. Have 2 boiled eggs and a glass of liquid. I defy you to want to eat anything after that 15 minutes later. This is, I dare say, keto is budget food. You need less of it. You get a bigger bang for the buck, literally. You're making fewer trips to the store. A little bit goes further. Yeah, we eat ribeyes, not every day. And we've gone because our appetites are lessened, our hunger is lessened, our requirement for fuel is lessened. We used to both eat large steaks with all the fixins and finish them. Now, it's one steak that I might have the little tail end off of it, and sometimes not even that. And sometimes, even though my husband's eating one steak and I've taken off a chunk of it, he doesn't even finish that. So that's another meal. Put it in the fridge. You don't have to clean your plate, by the way. Be frugal. Not cheap, frugal. Think about, well, do I really want it? Do I need to eat this right now, or can I have this tomorrow? And thereby not having to, it's not wasting food if you put it away for later. If you don't need it, don't eat it. And don't worry about if you can afford and you have access to locally sourced, grass-fed, all of that stuff, muzzle tough. But to tell people, those of us who were eating tortilla chips, the occasional Twinkie, barrels of popcorn, to go from that to It's not good enough that you stopped eating the carbs. You're still not doing it right unless you follow the and you don't have to buy one thing, not one thing. You don't have to spend a penny on anything other than real food to be 100% successful at this. There's nothing special. Certainly no keto, so-called keto products. If it says keto on the label, it's not. Go away. It's a waste. You don't need anything. Just lay off the carbs. That having been said, in an effort to earn my keep, this is the Shameless Commerce Division break with a tip of the hat to the Car Talk guys. I'll sell you a mug that says lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses. There's a different version of it below here. And there's my spread shop has got, Go Keto with Casey gear. And this one is Go Keto with Casey water bottle, etc. And you can see linked in my spread shop. Everything's linked. And this green book, 12-month record book, habit tracker, mood tracker, adult coloring pages, hopefully inspirational things. That's on Amazon, but you can see the link in my blog. And then I have a private support group on Patreon, which I really love. And I know some of the patrons are here, and I very much appreciate the support. And depending on your pledge level at this private support group at Patreon, link below, you get 20. Every weekday morning I do video snippets, the topics usually suggested by patrons, going up from there, a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcasting, going up from there, one-on-ones with me once a month. Okay, commercial over. Thank you. Now, I am going to turn my attention to the comments, questions, suggestions, feedback. Okay, so I haven't seen one comment because I look into the camera. Good morning from northeastern Oklahoma. Okay, Happy Ferret must have said something. I love that handle, by the way. Barb's D, hi from the UK. Love your advice and chats. Thanks. Cara Z, I can skip 90% of the grocery store. Time saver for sure. What's in our what's likely to be in our we have thick pork chops. Almost all of our meats and stuff come from Costco. And then we have frozen vegetables. We don't often buy fresh. Our onions are fresh. We, for seasoning and the occasional zucchini to make spiralized zucchini, but not even often. We're not carnivores. I mean, we're not like, no plants. Another thing, can't we all just get along? Doesn't matter what the label says. Anywho, thick pork chops, little chicken drummies that I cook in the air fryer, ribeyes, chuck roast. See, chuck roast, economical. Chicken thighs. I think they're 99 cents a pound or $1.29 or something like that a pound for the big package at Costco. Each one has like 3 or 4 big chicken thighs. Easy to cook, very economical. A variety of cheeses. Have already sliced, shredded mozzarella, shredded cheddar, a little bit of sour cream. We certainly have bacon, ground sausage, sausage patties, liver. I've got some lamb in the outside freezer. We just finished up the last of the shrimp that I had portioned. Food Saver is one of the best things you can invest in my opinion. We buy things, portion them, Food Saver, like the shrimp we just ate was from February of last year. It was delicious. Okay, a little crafty nook. I'm on Patreon, but have gotten behind on your snippets. Okay, little crafty nook. Make sure I had to send out a message about a particular tier level because there was a snafu. But look at that. Beth Canada, I have 3 hard-boiled eggs and a glass of lemon water for breakfast, and I don't want anything for hours. Truth. There's something magical about boiled eggs that's even different about the same eggs if they were scrambled or fried or deviled. There's something about a straight-up boiled egg. Judy Tucker writes, our refrigerator looks empty compared to what it looked like 5 years ago. And Little Crafty Nook, all of the real food is around the circumference of the store. This is a very good suggestion. Just don't even go down the aisles. If you could, unless you absolutely need diet tonic waters in the aisle. But yeah. And we just kind of shop the meat stuff and cheese. And the dog biscuits. We have to get those for Jackie. Julia Dennis, a little crafty nook. Yes, a lot of my veggies go in the trash. As I find I'm leaning toward carnivores, I'm not hungry. And again, we're not carnivore. We just, carbs are not an essential macronutrient. Vegetables are essentially carbohydrate, ergo, vegetables are not essential. And we enjoy the other stuff. We have some, so I recommend frozen vegetables, particularly the ones that you can get that are in the steam packs. We have frozen broccoli, frozen cauliflower, and frozen green beans. We also have frozen asparagus. My husband doesn't love it, so I kind of eat it when I'm feeling like asparagus and he's not around. But that's kind of it. Tina's Low Carb Life writes, I buy a 10-pound bag of leg quarters at a local store for $4.72. I separate them individually and cook one or two at a time in the air fryer. That's 47 cents a pound. So if you cook one or two, the most it's like 94 cents for a meal. That is cheaper, literally, than something on the dollar menu at one of the fast food places. Joni Sanchez, good morning, Sunshine Casey. I love the simplicity of eating this way and knowing the great nutrition we are giving ourselves. Thank you so much for your great videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Jack needs his goodies. I make Jack's food with chicken thighs and ground flax meal and eggs. And I, about once a month, I simmer the chicken thighs with the bones in, and then I process it in the Vitamix for every canister with the bones and the skin and the everything. And the bones have, become just mashable after I've simmered them long enough. I throw in a whole egg with the shell and 1 cup of ground flax meal. And he eats that once a day. And I made a video about that as well. He does get, just to keep things bounded, he does get Kirkland brand cookies. But he's hale and hearty, and his vet says he has the heart of a puppy. Teresa! Oh, I made it. So good to see you, Teresa. Yes, Dr. Teresa, what is your doctorate? Little Crafty Nook writes, oh, that's wonderful, Casey. Very loving of you to take such good care of him. Plus, it's cheaper. Can I tell you? Pet food is expensive, and they get you every time because, you might kick your husband, but you're going to take care of your dog or your cat. I don't kick my husband often. Judy Porterfield, good morning, Casey, and happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Passover to those who celebrated it. Ramadan to those who celebrate it. It's a good time of year to be peaceful. I really love that they've got those. How did you see those? Those little floaty things. Can I do that back? No, I can't do it back to you. That is so cool. Heather Silva writes, think of all the money you are saving not having to buy medications to fix what crappy processed food will do to your body. Great point. Great point. People say, oh, well, my insurance covers the insulin. Somebody's paying for it. It ain't free. And who wants to take insulin? Little Crafty Nook, if you can find it, my husband had sent me pictures of bear cat food shelves. Wow. Judy Porterfield writes, the bunny and all? The bunny and all? I don't get that. Happy Ferret, Heather Silva, yes. Little Crafty Nook, no. The floaty emojis, a relatively new thing, Casey. Tina's Low Carb Life just became a patron. Oh, thank you, Tina. I just became a patron. Happy to be part of the community. Floaty things? Yeah, they're apparently, if you look at the screen, which I've never seen before today, on this platform, on YouTube, they had it. I used to do Facebook Lives. I don't like Facebook. I only have a Facebook thing because to communicate in. Then there is, for patrons, there is a hidden private Facebook group that nobody can access unless you're invited by me. But that's like the highest and best use of Facebook. Oh my gosh, this is the hearts. Oh, it's very motivating to me. Ooh, give me more. What should I say? So, how are your tomato plants coming? Judy writes. I suck at this. I just suck at it. I'll just wait. I tried to start seeds, and um, I just need to buy plants. Thumbs up. Oh, and thank you so much to my producer for reminding me. Thank you to patrons. Thank you for people who buy my merch. I never know who you are. I really appreciate it. It's a real thrill for me. I enjoy designing this stuff. But you know what also is very nice? If you can give a thumbs up or a like or whatever it's called, it really helps my channel. So apparently. So thank you very much. I don't see a heart. LOL. Oh no. Little Crafty Nook. 1 year I proudly planted my plants, and 2 days later we had a freeze. Yeah. So I had a fairly robust garden 2 or 3 years ago. Started the seeds from being, but I overdid it. I started too many seeds, planted them together. I made that mistake. So we didn't get great production because everything was too crowded. So the next year I said, I'll just let it go. And then the next year I tried it and it was too little. And then, hi Scott, our weekly Bible study, our weekly video Bible study. Okay, there's JACK. I like this setup better. What about you guys? I think it looks better. I did this first on a patron live stream yesterday. I like it. You can't trust the weather lately at all for planting. Yeah. And of course, we have a wonderful farmers market. Most communities do. Maybe we'll just go and give back to the people who know what the heck they're doing. Happy ferret rates. Looks great. Misty's House of Tarot Cards. Looks great. Thank you. Happy Easter. Let's do keto. Little Crafty Nook. Judy, right above where we comment on mobile, it's above the send arrow. Thank you. Isn't that frustrating? That so many things in everything we do, and let's face it, our lives are very online centric. If you're on a tablet, it's one way. If you're on a mobile phone, it's another way. If you're on a Mac, it's one way. A laptop. If you're on a PC, it's a different way. So thank you for sending that. And thank you for those of you who do the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Of course, my husband castigates me because after I get on these, I'll immediately see how many thumbs down I got. And there's usually 2. I don't know if it's the same person, the same 2 people doing it, or the same person doing it twice. You know, maybe that's the best thing you can do when you're sitting wherever you're sitting. It doesn't matter. I don't know who they are. And they don't show on the channel, so it's a really wasted click. I can see them, but nobody else can see how many thumbs down. But thank you. You're so welcome, Little Crafty Nook. Judy Tucker. Beep, 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 beep. Judy Tucker's lost 150 pounds, after which she was fired by her obese doctor. But she has a good doctor that she likes now. Judy's a farmer. She was 150 pounds heavier when she was a farmer. Unbelievable. And she's off all of her medications. Little Crafty Nook. Congrats to the weight loss, Judy, and you're welcome. And Judy Porterfield's here. She's our sardine queen. There's a story behind that. Joni Sanchez. 7 baby cows. So, oh, wow. It's calving season at the Tucker farm. Linda M. Hi, hey, Casey. Are those National Geographic magazines to your right? How far back do they go? Love going through them. You know what? They go back a long way. I'll have to look. And then if you see, these brown things, those are National Geographic leather binders. So they're even more in there. Had 3 calves yesterday. Woo! Keto on. Thank you. Okay, friends, I'm going to wind down. Have a lovely weekend, no matter whether you are celebrating whatever faith you're celebrating, or if you don't celebrate a faith at all, but you just love the fact that spring will eventually be here for everybody. Sardine Queen, love it. Thank you very much. Thanks for I love that. So those emojis. Oh, I was wondering about Nat Geos too. How impressive. Some of them are duplicated because my mother gave our youngest child, he wanted a subscription. So he got some, and then we inherited them, of course. That's what happens with your adult children. They leave all the stuff that they can't be bothered to move. Happy Easter, Passover, spring, etc. Thank you, guys. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm, stay cool, and stay sweet. Just don't eat sweets, even if there are chocolate bunnies around. You'll feel so much better. Not muzzle, namaste. And muzzle tough.